Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with a new introduction to a video series we're going to be doing. A lot of you enjoyed the Whispering Madness deck, Waste Not deck that we did here live at the store. So we're going to start a new video series on Sundays. I'm going to try to do this every Sunday, so you'll probably get these videos Mondays and Tuesdays by the time I'm done editing them. But we're going to do Brewfest on Sunday, and in the brews, we're going to be choosing a card that we personally like, and we're going to brew around that card. And then everyone that shows up on Sunday, I'm going to film them, and then we're going to play our decks against each other. So a lot of these won't be Tier 1 testing, so we're not going to be Tier 1 testing. It's like we did on the previous videos against like Mono Black Devotion and whatnot. We're just going to be playing a lot of fun decks together. And eventually I'm going to open this up to the public as well for you to build your own decks and videotape it and send it in. And eventually, in the future, I'm going to try to do an MTGO tournament using only rogue decks. So keep that in mind. Those are some upcoming things for the channel. I'm going to do a whole video of all the upcoming changes to the channel. This card, so in this series, I'm going to be brewing around the Generator Servant. So if you look at this bad boy, everything in this deck is going to interact very well with the Generator Servant. So Generator Servant says that you can sacrifice it, add 2 mana to your mana pool, and that mana is used on creatures. They gain haste until end of turn. So one cool thing is you can split that colorless mana to actually split into 2 creatures if you need to. But in this deck, we're really going to try to cheat out a big creature. So I've got in this deck other ramp spells. Another card that kind of feels like Generator Servant is going to be the Satyr Hedonist. So Satyr Hedonist can sacrifice, add triple red for a red, so you're up 2 mana. And the Zhur-Taa Druid, I'll tell you why in a second what that card combos, but for now it generates a green, so it's another kind of ramp spell. And then we have a Sylvan Caryatid, which is your best, most stable hexproof kind of ramp spell. So on to the cards that interact very well with Generator Servant. I'll also have Burning-Tree Emissary just because our 2-drops. Burning-Tree Emissary completely supplements every one of them. So I'm thinking about running one of Nythos Shrine Nyx in here, but I probably don't need it because I don't think we'll be able to generate a sufficient amount of devotion because we're all over the place in the 3-colored deck. So these Burning-Tree Emissaries might get cut eventually, but the thing that I like about this deck is you want your creature count as high as possible because the one card that we're going to try to use with Generator Servant the most is the Underworld Cerberus. So this is the draw I want to see is the 2nd turn Generator Servant into a 3rd turn Underworld Cerberus. Good luck dealing with this guy, and if they do deal with it, hopefully we have at least a Generator Servant we can get back and do it all over again with our next turn with another silly draw in some of the other cards that I have here. So again, I thought about using a few other cards in here, but since this is rotation time at the store, I just don't have a lot of cards. So if this seems a little bit scattered, it's because it is scattered. I'd probably want more Colonial Hydras. We already actually got this off against. I was playtesting this deck against a BG Dread list, and I got it out turn 3, Generator Servant to Colonial Hydra. And he could not recover from that as it was 8 damage and then 16 damage the following turn for the win. So anyway, we also have cards that interact really well with the Generator Servant. We have Master of Cruelties. So again, that is why the Zhur-Taa Druid is in here. So it goes Generator Servant into Master of Cruelties, and then hopefully we can Zhur-Taa Druid down the road for that last point of damage. So I have a bunch of other 1-ofs in this deck. Of course, these are going to be the most powerful 3, the Colonial Hydra, the Master of Cruelties, and Underworld Cerberus. I thought about Xenagos. Xenagos is another way to abuse Colonial Hydra, Master of Cruelties, and Underworld Cerberus. Again, if you have to cast a Underworld Cerberus the following turn after Xenagos, it's attacking in for 12 with haste. Pretty awesome. Then we have Plugranos. Why not? Plugranos seems good. We also have... I thought about Reaper of the Wilds in Plugranos' his slot, but I decided against it. Reaper of Wilds, of course, will be good with the Generator Servant because future Satyr Hedonist and Generator Servant, you can actually at least scry off of that when you sacrifice a creature. I tried 2 of the souls. I don't like the Soul of Zendikar, but I absolutely love the Soul of Shandalar and the Soul of Innistrad, as this can get stuff in the graveyard. Hopefully we'll have tons of stuff in the graveyard to get back, and the Soul of Shandalar can just do damage. They're both good finishers. Hydra Brewmaster again, why not? I think this goes more in a green devotion than this. This is more of a test card. Again, this deck is all over the place because it is anything but refined. This is how a deck gets started. You choose an idea, at least for me. This is how a rogue deck gets started. You choose an idea. I see this card. I get a little too excited about it, and then I try to figure out cards that interact well with it and brew around it. Good news is, post-rotation, we do lose our really, really overpowered cards with Master of Cruelties and Kalonian Hydra, but I think that's all I lose out of this entire deck now that I'm looking at it. Burning-Tree Emissaries are definitely not a must, and neither is the Zhur-Taa Druid. So post-rotation, we have all of this stuff left on the to work with. So I think it's going to be a viable deck post-rotation. Anywho, last thing I need to talk about is a Hoarding Dragon. I thought, why the hell not? Hoarding Dragon can actually tutor you up a Scuttling Doom Engine or a Soul of New Phyrexia, and both those are very powerful. A 6/6 Trampler interacts very well with Xenagos, interacts very well with a lot of other cards too. This can give all your permanents indestructible. I'm thinking that, again, it just as an artifact I can actually get with the Hoarding Dragon. The one problem with Hoarding Dragon is that they bounce it, you actually lose your card, but if they kill it, then you actually will have either a Scuttling Doom Engine or a Soul of New Phyrexia. So it is just a one-of, and I thought, for just flavor, again, these decks are going to try to have a lot of flavor in it, try to do some wacky stuff. So my flavor combination for flavor points is going to be, of course, the Generator Servant into the turn 2 Generator, turn 3 into a monstrosity card, and then other flavor I'm going to have is a Hoarding Dragon to actually go get like a Scuttling Doom Engine or not. So mana base is pretty self-explanatory. You can use anything you want. We are in rotation time, so we can be as greedy as we want. I mean, there's so many different options. So right now I've just got a mix of Blood Crypts, Temples, like Llanowar Wastes, and a couple of Mana Confluences. One cool little interaction between Mana Confluences, the Overgrown Tomb and Yawgmoth. If you have Overgrown Tomb, Yawgmoth, and Mana Confluence out, you can actually tap your Mana Confluence for a black without dealing damage to yourself. So cool little interaction there. Anyway, we're going to go on to the sideboard here. Sideboard, we have 3 of Underworld Cerberuses, just because they're a great card. Another 3 of Underworld Cerberuses, because just awesome card, amazing card. Another 3 of Underworld Cerberuses, because you know why not? You just might as well have more of the most powerful card. And 6 more Underworld Cerberuses. So 15 Underworld Cerberuses in the sideboard. No, I'm just joking. These are my spec card. This is my sleeper card that I'm picking for my upcoming Rogue deck of our Rogue Market video. So that's an upcoming video. I just thought I'd show my Underworld Cerberuses off. This one, of course, does include 4 of them. Sideboard, right now we have a Golgari Charm, very good utility. A Reaper of the Wilds, another test card that I can put in there. 2 Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay can take care of Detention Spheres and Vanishing Lights, our public enemy number 1. We have 2 more Reclamation Sage, which takes care of said cards as well as gives us a 2/1 body. A Shadowborn Demon, which I might include more of these in the sideboard if I had them, but again, our shop sold them all out since it was coming on rotation, so we just have the 1 of. Rakdos' Return ×2. I could easily go up to times 3 because with the amount of ramp we have in this deck, it's just a blowout against certain decks. So we go like Sylvan Caryatid and Hedonist and whatnot. And you can actually use Generator Servant for Rakdos' Return. 2 Mazy Mortars against the aggro lists. I have 2 Scavenging Oozes to exile opposing creatures if I am worried about Cerberus giving them their stuff back. And I've got some Dreadbores in here. I think I have too many sideboard here, so I need to cut some Dreadbores. But whatever puts me at 15 with Dreadbores. Again, I'll have the list up for you to click on, so you can go ahead in the description and click and see the actual list. So we're going to have a couple other deck techs here with Zach and Jazz. They're going to show you their M15 cards that they are going to brew with, and then we are just going to play the decks against each other. So again, we might, if we have time, we'll test it against a tier 1 deck like Mono Black Devotion or whatnot. But for now, we're just going to play our M15 choice card with the deck brewed around it and see which one comes out on top. Again, eventually this is going to be opened up to the public, so if you have an idea, feel free to email me. If you can create your own video, I will have instructions on how to Dropbox that to me, and I'll get it up on the website and throw it up on the channel. So again, that is my goal. I want Roguedeckbuilder to be a community. I don't want it to just be me blabbing off all my nonsense decks. I want other people to make nonsense decks and let nonsense decks rule the world. So the wide open options with M15. Kansas City Star City Open was very disappointing. I think that the only deck that really had any major changes was Mono Green Devotion, which did utilize like Nisa and Court of Calling and a few other cards, but it was I was very disappointed at Kansas City Star City Open with like a 1 of Polymorphous Jest in mono blue, a 1 of Overgrown Tomb of Yawgmoth in mono black Devotion. And it was sad to see those lists. I thought that Perilous Vault would at least see a lot of play or something would mix up the format. But it just seems like Spikes get this mentality where they get stuck with the deck that they like and they don't like to venture out into new ideas and new possibilities. And I think the Magic is more powerful than that. I think there's a lot of room for rogue deck builders, and that is hence why I started the channel. Anyway, I'm going to quit blabbing. We're going to play some games. Kevin with RogueDeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.